And we are back with this year's Homestretch 2025 video. We are calling this one Time to Lock In because it really is time to lock in. If you don't know, the test is coming up in about 4 weeks from now. You have about 4 weeks and a couple days until the A test on Wednesday, November 5th. So we'll start this video off with a quote because you know I like those. Every day, like today for instance, is a chance to begin again. Don't focus on the failures of yesterday, how you didn't study for the whole year or all summer or the times you were going to and you didn't. Don't focus on that. Start today with positive thoughts and expectations. And that's what this is about. It doesn't really matter what you did or didn't do before this point. From right now until the end of the race, it's the home stretch is what you would call it. You're going to finish the race with a full-on sprint. That means you're going to put in the best effort that you can. That is, if you have aspirations of qualifying for the AIME or higher. It's probably something you've probably already started to do if you have aspirations for higher than just the AIME. So yeah, start today, start now. You have 4 weeks. What do you got to lose? Throw everything you have at it and do the best that you can. So what would be a good plan in the final 4 weeks? These are the dates, by the way. Wednesday, November 5th. You actually get 8 days until the November 13th B test. Should you take both? I get asked this a lot. 100% take both tests. If you're not taking both tests, you're probably not serious about qualifying, and that's fine. It could be just a fun test that you enjoy doing for the joy of math, and I support that 100%. But if you are serious about it and you're really trying to use it to propel yourself and to do well, then you want to take both tests. If your school only offers one, which is the majority of high schools, you will need to find another testing location. Now, recently, I tried to use the NAA zip code search for finding a school, and it no longer works. The website was down. I don't know. Maybe their zip code search has been disabled. I don't know why that would be the case. But you'll need to contact math circles in your area, colleges. Look around, ask in Discord servers how you can find out. My Discord server, the kids in there probably know a way that you can tell, but you might want to try a math circle. Local colleges often offer it as well, and some tutoring centers and other testing facilities. So you'll have to locate one of those on your own to take either the A or the B if your school does not offer both tests. So we are in the final 4 weeks. What should your plan be at this stage of the game? Well, number one, hopefully you've been keeping a small notebook throughout your prep time and you've been filling that out. This becomes priceless at this time of year. You should be reviewing this once a day. Every day be going through it, reviewing every single concept and reminding yourself of what those concepts are and their potential uses. Lately in mine, I've also been adding notes about certain problems where the problem is located. So I'll have the concept and then I'll put the year and the date and the problem number there so that I can go back and find that question a little bit easier. So that would be a great thing. But what else should you be doing? If you haven't mocked the last 8 years of contests, so probably going back 2017, 2018, right around there, you're going to want to review all of those. Don't forget that in 2021, there are 4 tests because it used to be held in the spring. And so as you came to the end of, say, your freshman year in the spring of 2021 for some people, then your sophomore year in the fall, that's when it got moved. So this year has 4 tests. It's the 2 tests from the previous tail end of the school year and 2 tests from the new testing date that we currently have, which is in November. So you've got those 4, you've got 2022, 2023, 2024, all great material. I personally prefer to work from the oldest towards the newest test. So that would be my recommendation because that way, right before the contest, you're taking the most recent test that they've created and you're getting a feel for the current level of difficulty that they're doing and possibly a themed concept. They have certain themed concepts that carry over for a number of years. For example, from around 2001 to 2012, they had leap year problems. And the last leap year problem was the 2012 Charles Dickens' birthday. He was born in 1812, and there's a leap year problem there for that. But they haven't had one since, but it was a theme for a while. And so same thing can happen in the modern era. You might get some kind of themed concept that they seem to carry over from the last few years, and you might get one of those. So being familiar with them is very helpful. Sometimes they'll even have a themed concept on the same year. Like there'll be the A test has a 7 dice probability problem and the B test has a 7 dice probability problem. That does happen occasionally, but there's no guarantee that you're going to get that. So I would do about the last 8 years. If you have time to do more, do more. But definitely these would be it. Kind of figure out maybe 2 tests a week or something like that. That would give you, I guess, whatever it would be. You get 8 tests done, so maybe it wouldn't be 8 years. Maybe you can do 4 years. Maybe you could do 4 tests a week. But here's the thing. Don't just do the test. You take the test and then you need to do mistake analysis. You have to look at why did your mistakes occur? How could you have avoided it? Would it have been more work would have helped you avoid it? Would it have been that reading slower would have helped you not make that mistake? I say in my classes, read slow and solve fast. I practice speed solving, so I'm really good at it and I really make mistakes. Where I make mistakes would be if I'm reading too quickly, I miss a word or I forget a word or I forget to go back and look and see if a certain word was there, and then that causes a problem. So when you're reading a lot of information, read it slowly to make sure that you understand it correctly. And then that's when you throw your speed at it, your speed solving skills, your calculation speed. So take solid notes during the process as well, and then do efficiency analysis. A lot of students think, well, I got it right. What else is there to know? How to go a lot faster than you did, right? Consistently in classes, you'll have students sometimes, they only have time to answer 12 questions. Well, then your concern at that point is not answering question 21 and 22. You're never going to see those unless you skip like 1 to 5 or something. Your main goal should be to focus on your speed. So if you don't have time to get to the later questions, that means there was something in the earlier problems that you could have done faster. And it might be that you have a great solve process, it's just not efficient enough for the 75-minute solve time to allow you to get to the later questions in the task. So do go through and look for other alternative ways to solve. You might find them on the AOPS solutions, you might have official solutions, you might have a tutor that you could ask these questions to. I would highly recommend that. You have Alchemist. Everybody knows about Alchemist by now. It's a free resource on the AOPS website. It's got like 30,000 questions or something, all separated by topic. You could go do that. You could do For the Win, which is a speed contest that you play against someone else. I also recommend if you go in my Discord server, there's a few other Discord servers as well that have pretty good resources available in them. You also could do, I've got Saturday live streams. So these live streams, I've had them going all year long. A lot of students, you're looking for tutoring your classes. You can't really afford $30 to $40 an hour for a class or for private tutoring. This is live teaching for $5 an hour. I've been running it all year. It's a great resource, a great opportunity to learn at a discounted rate. And you can ask questions in the live chat. It's a live session. So you get to have a teaching basically from somebody who's very well qualified to teach and highly competent that can point out a lot of these kinds of shortcuts and give you advice for $5 an hour. Give it a shot. It's got a free 1-week free trial. This goes from 3:30 to 5 p.m. Pacific time on Saturdays. There's also other places that offer AMC 10-12 classes. Maybe that aforementioned Math Circle. You might go down there and sit through some of their meetings. You might have a local tutor or someone you can work with. I offer classes online as well. You could sign up through my website. It'll be down in the description below. By the way, my small notebook review seminar is announced now. Last year it was a 4-hour class, about 4.5, and it took a lot of time, but we still didn't get through everything. So this year I've added like 30 more concepts to it since last year, and I decided to go ahead and make it kind of a 6 to 8 hour class. And you can't do that in a single sitting. My voice just gets wrecked. So this year it's going to be a 4-week class. For some it might be 3 weeks. For example, the Sundays one that goes 10 a.m. to noon starting October 12th we might not be able to do all 4 weeks of that. So maybe on the last day we do 3 hours or 4 hours or something like that to make up for it. But you can contact me through my website to sign up for my small notebook class. In fact, you might be wondering, what's the small notebook class? I'm going to show you a video in just a moment. I'll just pause this and you can watch a video to see what the small notebook class looks like right after I get through the list of things I'm covering here for your preparation. There is, by the way, an international time available for Beijing. I'm only going to hold this if I get at least 5 people signed up, but it would be Saturday my time, 8 to 10 p.m., but in Beijing it's 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Sundays. So I have had this class going in past years, and usually it gets at least 5 signups. If you sign up at least 5 people by then, you can reach me through my website, or you can email me through my channel email as well. That would be an option. I could run that. I may also run these 2 classes as optional as well. The intensive camp would run in between the A and the B test. I'm not sure. I might do that this year. It would be a 4 days. It would start the Friday, November 7th, and then it would go Monday through Wednesday of the following week, 2 hours per day, probably 4 to 6 p.m. each of those days would be my guess, or 4:30 to 6:30, something along those lines. So you've got various classes, various places. You've got my channel with a bunch of free content. You've also got Sohail Rathi. He's got a whole bunch of classes on his that you can go check out for free. He's a really sharp kid, graduated last year, made so many videos and helped out so many people. You've got Osman Nall. He hasn't been filming in a long time, but he's got a lot of free content on his. There's also What Math. I don't know, I think I have him down in my channels as well. He still makes content. I don't know how much AMC stuff he creates, but a good dude as well. Check out the people in my channels list. Obviously, you've got the former IMO coach Po Shen Lo down there as well, and several others. If you were going to do an AOPS book, what book would you do? The 2 that I would target, you could get done in 4 weeks, is either of these. Either do counting and probability or number theory if you've never done those texts. You can expect that number theory is going to help you in 1 to 4 problems per test. Sometimes it helps you finish off a problem really quickly. Other times you have to know modular or something like that to be able to solve, or at least remainder rules and things like that. Counting and probability is also going to be about 2 to 4 questions. There tends to be more of this than this, but pick one and knock it out. You could just burn through the whole thing. Make sure you have the solutions book. This close to the contest, these are the 2 that I would do. If you've already done them, you might go back through books you've already completed and just do the challenge problems. And people say, should I do the proofs? I would say maybe. I don't think your return on investment for them is as good at where we're at right now, 4 weeks before the test. I would definitely circle back and do them after the contest. It's really important for your deeper understanding of mathematics, and it does help give insight on the test once you've proved something, because you better understand the concept from multiple perspectives. It's an enriched level of understanding, and that means it's much more likely you will recognize it on the contest when you see it. But if you take 30 minutes to do a proof and you could have solved 4 problems in that time, or 5 problems, or 6, I think the practice of the problem solving would be more important at this time of year. So I would probably do challenge problems that are computational, or there's something, they're not a proof, they're not a show that problem. You might do a couple of the proofs or a couple of the show that's. I would be fine with that, just to make sure you're balancing a little bit of how you're preparing, but I wouldn't do all of them until after the contest. If you're doing these books normally, like after the contest, preparing for the following year, 2026, 100% you should be doing all of the proofs at that time, because you have a whole year, so you have time to saturate in the ideas and really think about them. But right now, we're locking in and trying to get as much in as we can for maximum preparation. So you have all of these resources that you can do. Other than that, I don't have a whole lot else to add. I really highly recommend this. Again, I'll show a small snippet from last year's small notebook class so you can see what this is. Again, this year, it's going to be 6 to 8 hours of content. It'll be around 250, 270, something like that for the class. It's highly refined content that I have accumulated over the last 15 years of preparing for the contest and helping students to prepare. There are a lot of key ideas, and they're not super simple things. It's not going to be like SOHCAHTOA, or basic stuff like that that you can learn anywhere. They're ideas that are a little bit more advanced than that, and that can save you a lot of time. They give you an edge on the contest because of how fast that you're able to solve. This is my most popular class that I do offer, so you should probably reach out and see about that. The last one, we will leave you with a quote. Even me, I'm locking in. It is a little bit after. It's 12:30 in the morning right now. Yes, I am filming this time of night, 12:30 a.m. I work tomorrow a 12-hour day, and I start in less than 8 hours. So I'm going to finish this video, get it done. I might not get it uploaded tonight. I'll maybe upload it tomorrow at some time when I have an opportunity. It might be tomorrow night. I don't know, maybe I will finish it tonight. It's just a lot to do, and I'm already cutting into my 8 hours of sleep as is right now. So I'm locking into doing all that I can. Last one, leave you with the quote. The beginning is the most important part of the work. Plato spoke that. It's true. When were you planning to start? It doesn't matter what you do in all of this and what exact plan you make. The important thing is that you start. You start doing anything you can, whether it's alchemist, whether it's solving problems by yourself, whether you find a tutor to work with or you take classes somewhere, whether you just go on the Discord server and make a friend and you guys study together, you gals study together, make a friend at school, maybe you join the math club. All of these things are on the table, but the most important thing is that you begin. We've got 4 weeks. Lock in. Let's go. See you in the next one. In fact, we're going to use it again here in just a moment. I've not seen this in an AMC. Not every concept in here was an AMC because, again, there's going to be 7 to 8 novel problems every year that no one's ever seen before. So what are they going to put in those? No one knows. Try to know a lot of things that are interesting. That seemed interesting to me. I copied it down. The next one's more important. For orthodiagonals, this is going to have 2 parts. Orthodiagonals. Okay, the first part is for any orthodiagonal. All that means is the diagonals are perpendicular. Okay, so it doesn't. Common ones are a rhombus and a kite, but it does not have to be a rhombus or a kite to be an orthodiagonal. Those are just examples of things that fall into this category. Okay, any orthodiagonal, and you can make one that's neither of those by making sure none of your lengths are the same length. They all can look different. I draw the diagonals first for that kind. That way it won't look like a rhombus or a kite. Okay, D, A, B, and C. You should know that the sums of the squares of opposite sides are equal. So A squared opposite from C, A squared plus C squared equals B squared plus D squared. That would be more about a speed edge. More importantly is the area. It's equal to half diagonal 1 times diagonal 2. The reason for this is obvious. If you come out here and make a rectangle, then this is half of that. And this is half of that. And this is half of that. And so, of course, the rectangle's dimensions are diagonal 1 by diagonal 2. Okay? I'm going to add a concept that's not in my small notebooks that I can show you this concept in action because, again, one concept is not enough on more challenging questions. You're going to have to combine it with other things. This one's not in mine. I don't have everything I know in my mind in my small notebook because some things to me I just can't forget, but you should probably add it to yours so it doesn't have a number, okay? It's got 2 parts. The first is called triangle midsegment theorem. Triangle midsegment theorem says the following. If, put A, B, and C, if you have midpoints, M and N, okay, those are midpoints. So I don't call them midpoints in mine. Why? Because the symbols indicate they're midpoints. If your brain can't process those are midpoints by the symbols, you're going to have more problems. So you want to have as minimal writing in your small notebook as possible. Then the following 2 things are true. 1, MN is automatically parallel to BC, and 2, MN's length is half the length of BC. That's the first concept. Related to that,
not same theorem, is if you have a midpoint on one side, and all you know is that the line here is parallel to this line. It's all you know. You don't know n is a midpoint. You only know m is a midpoint. Then by that, you now know n is a midpoint. This often comes up as a concept in trapezoids when you draw the diagonals. So if I put a midpoint here and I start going this way, and I know that this is parallel to up here, you now have that concept applicable because it's guaranteed to pass through the midpoint right here, n, as well, because it's parallel and starts at a midpoint. So you'll see it a lot of times. They'll hide it within trapezoids when you draw the diagonals as a common application of it. Often it will have this little segment in the middle of the two diagonals. It's actually connecting the midpoints of the diagonals as well. But the way you would solve a problem like that typically involves the bases, where you double this base, or you cut that base in half to get this one, and then you cut this base in half to get like that length, et cetera, et cetera. There's lots of options with that situation to be played around with in there. Okay, I'm going to clear screen. You have about 5 seconds to get a screenshot. Be ready to take screenshots when you're too slow in writing. You're going to write a lot. Okay, I'm going to clear in 3, 2, 1. This is also not in my small notebook. It's just a similarity understanding. I'm going to need it also in the problem we're about to do. So similarity, all lengths are in a ratio. All of your areas are a squared to b squared. All of your volumes are a cubed to b cubed. You might note that certain shapes are always similar. Sphere, circle, cube, square. All such shapes are similar to each other. You don't need to have any proof that they're similar. They just are. Okay, just trust it. You can look it up later, some reason why. I mean, it should be kind of obvious for anybody who understands similarity, but yeah. Okay, so similarity. Now, I'm going to clear that off. You probably all knew that. Again, that's in my AMC 8 small notebook. I don't have it in the AMC 10 because I just consider it too basic. All right, so this is a 2020 AMC 10A, and we're going to look at problem 12. What I'm going to show is kind of how you would take this concept and how it can quickly resolve the problem. Is this the only way to solve this problem? No. And you might have found a different way when you did this test as a mock. Okay, but remember this also. They're going to hide what they want you to use or critical information behind other words like medians. What does medians mean? Oh, it's from a vertex to a what? A midpoint. Guaranteed. V is a midpoint. U is a midpoint. Connect them. What do you have? A triangle midsegment. What do you know? Its ratio is 1 to 2. You also have triangle similarity. Okay, so you have triangle similarity. And what that would mean is that because you have a 1 to 2 ratio, the area here is A and here 3A. Because A to A plus 3A is a 1 to 4 ratio because your segments are in 1 to 2. Note that from the start of the problem, the UV is not connected. Why? Well, number one, you might think to use it. They don't want you to just know what to do automatically because they told you. They want you to connect ideas in your mind to things that you should know. So they play hide the ball. Can you find it? Do you know how to act upon it? There are median properties as well that you can use. The fact that this is a centroid, you get 2 to 1 ratios. All of those things are valid. Okay, but that's not the method I'm going to use here. Once you connect this now becomes an orthodiagonal, and they're perpendicular on the diagonals. So your area of it is half times 12 times 12, which is 72, which means your 3A is 72 and your A is 24. So immediately, what is the area? 96. Okay, it's about getting speed edges. If I'm doing this problem, this is exactly how I did it the first time. The first thing I do is go, okay, the fact that AM was equal to AC, we never use that, by the way. You could have. There's probably some solution that does. I saw medians. I say midpoint. I thought about connecting immediately because this is a common trope in competition problem solving where you have the midpoints connected like that. Okay, so I connect immediately. I go, oh, orthodiagonal, 144 over 2, 72. Oh, that's this, 24. A is 24, 96, you're done. You can get the whole problem if you're trained and you understand these concepts in less than a minute. Okay, it's a number 12 on a modern AMC 10.